Okay, so let's look at market hours. Trading Forex is not done at one central location, but is conducted between participants by phone, believe it or not, and electronic communication networks, ECN, which we use, in various markets around the world. The market is open 24 hours a day in different parts of the world from 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday until 4 p.m. Eastern on Friday. And I want you to log this website. I use it. I did use it, but you can use it too. forexmarkethours.com. So if you copy it or just type it in, go to forexmarkethours.com and let's take a look at it. Okay, so this is what the website looks like. You can put in wherever you're from here. I'm from Vancouver, Canada currently. And it nicely shows you the session. So London session overlaps with New York session. And this is where we talked about in the last section where for me it's 2 p.m. or if you're living in Eastern, it's 5 p.m. Eastern. This is where New York ends and Sydney session starts, and it overlaps with Tokyo. So this kind of gives you a nice overview of London and how it overlaps with New York. And so, some people like trading, this session here because when you have London and New York trading, you have lots of people trading. So there's going to be more movement in the market. And, if there's more buyers, they're going to, the price is going to, the theory is it moves more. So when price moves more, there's more opportunities to catch trades and win money, right? So some people like trading when there's two markets overlapping, and this is where, for me, every day it's 2 p.m. So see how I have it set to, Vancouver, which is where I'm from, right at the 1400 mark. That's when you'll see on your charts, like I showed you previously, when the market crosses over and the markets close just temporarily while they're switching. And right here, this is what you'll end up seeing. See how there's the gap here. Sometimes people ask, well, why the heck is there a gap here? Where it's the middle of the day. What's going on? It's not the broker doing something weird. I've heard that before again. It's because the market, New York market's closing, and we're switching to Sydney. And people like also trading, when Sydney and Tokyo is going. And also depends on what currency you're trading, right? So London, if you're trading a GBP pair, well, you're going to have a lot of people trading GBP because, that's their home currency. And the US dollar, well, New York is in USA, so, any US dollar pairs are going to be highly traded during the New York session. Sydney, Australia, Aussie dollar, it's going to be heavily traded during that session. And Tokyo, JPY, that's going to be heavily traded during that period. So this is a good website you can use to see kind of how, what time the markets overlap, and you can adjust it based on your location. So that's a good website that we use. The other thing is I want to show you how to do this on your TradingView chart because this is where we spend most of our time. You have to be below the daily chart. So if you're selected on the daily chart, you won't be able to do this. It just won't give you the option. But if you're on, below the daily chart, I tend to leave it on my the 5-minute chart. So just right click on your chart and go to settings, and then go to appearance, and then go to session breaks. So if you click on session breaks, now you see, and it actually doesn't show you future breaks. So it won't show you the next session break that's happening. But see here, I've adjusted, if I adjust this to Vancouver time, you can see that at 1400, see how it says 1400 there, which is 2 p.m. my time. Every day at 2 p.m. you will get the market close, and see how you can see, see the price was going up, and then people knew that the market was about to close. So you got a lot of people close their trade. Maybe they didn't want to be charged swap fees. Notice these things, right? So the market's closing and reopening is changing sessions here, right? And that's when you sometimes get gaps. You know, see right there, you see a gap right there. So there's nothing weird going on. It's because the market is actually closing and a new session is starting. So if you're using the 3-chart setup like I'm using, and I've taught a lot of you to use because it's awesome. I don't tend to, I leave it on my 5-minute chart, right? The session breaks, because I like to just, when the session closes, and just a reminder that you might see something weird, or you might see people closing their trades. But check this. If I why I don't have it on any other chart, because look at the 4-hour. See how much it clutters up the charts? Like, you don't want these vertical lines, on your 4-hour chart. If you try to zoom out, it makes the chart look terrible. So that's why I haven't really showed you this up until now. I just didn't want you to clutter your charts. I leave it on the 5-minute chart. It's really nice when you're using the 3-chart setup, then you can just have, it's nicely spaced here. It's not cluttering up my charts. I can see when the session closes and opens up. I know what's going on. And then I have my 1-hour and my 4-hour charts. They don't show it. So I have the information I need, and on my 5-minute chart, I can add a little bit of extra data with these vertical lines. And I remove news now, but I always have news showing. So show future events and event breaks. So I always, now I saw some students using this. I never did it before, these vertical lines, because it's nice to know exactly when the news is going to hit on your chart. So those are the only vertical lines that I have, is news and session breaks. And on my 5-minute chart, I don't find it that it bothers me too much. So I suggest only putting it on the 5-minute chart, because otherwise your 4-hour charts is just going to make them look even more cluttered. And the goal of, when marking up the charts is to keep a nice clean looking chart. And so market sessions is pretty much what I showed you from that website. Since the markets operate in multiple time zones, it can be accessed at nearly any time of the day. It talks about Sydney session, Tokyo, London session. You can read this all on your own. These are what they consider the major sessions, with the most, the most people trading during that time. So you're going to get more volatility and more action in the market. And these are considered the more minor sessions in the market. Okay, that's it for this term.